2024, I believe, is going to become a major year for anime in what is to come for the future for potentially Warner Brothers Discovery. And also, we have two headlines from ANN this week. One on the recent announcement that Shout Studios, has picked up Speed Racer for release on digital platforms coming this June 1st. Um, and also the recent announcement that MeTV is going to be launching a brand new channel that's to show anime titles like Speed Racer and Marine Boy, uh, with also animation historian and co-head of one of the first distributors as to solely focus on releasing anime in the 80s and 90s. Jerry Beck, set to produce content for the channel, an academic of animation, specifically Looney Tunes and that sort. Now, with the Shout Factory news, pretty much the big announcement is that Shout Studios is set to release Speed Racer anime on digital platforms June 1st, with both the English dub and Japanese subtitles, set to different streamers. Um, Speed Racer is a famous title from the 60s from the States, that's been syndicated so many different times in so many different networks, from the 60s to the late 80s. In the 90s, though, Speed Racer was then picked up by MTV and reran like all the time, with also like Translux Productions creating like the Speed Racer Corporation, and then pumping out a whole bunch of merchandise for Speed Racer, with the only merchandise like before that being just solely like comic books. Legal trouble with Tatsunoko suing the Speed Racer Corporation about the title, and then from that, you have the release of Speed Racer film, and then also in the early 2000s you have Crunchyroll popping up, becoming a legitimate site for streaming anime. In the first three titles that they picked up, two were from Studio Gonzo's, uh, you know, well-known studio that sprung off from Studio Gainax, known for selling anime directly to anime consumers. But the third title was the aforementioned Speed Racer, which at the time, Crunchyroll had avatars. They did a crossover with Speed Racer, so that was that. Following that, around 2017 was when Speed Racer and Funimation also releasing for DVD and Blu-ray a limited edition version that is of Speed's Head, that came with Speed Racer, Mach Go Go Go, the original subtitled, Speed Racer X, and the subs for Speed Racer X. Overall, I'm excited for the news that Shout Factory has picked up the title. It kind of, to me, I think it's a sign of like Shout Factory kind of like expanding and becoming like a bigger player within the anime space. I know that Shout Studios has a partnership with Anime Limited for their releases. With the title A Place Further Than the Universe, and obviously Shout Factory also does, they print the titles for G Kids, and they've done releases for like Gintama and a whole bunch of Satoshi Kon films and Digimon. Like the Shout Factory is gonna become the next player within the anime space. I give it probably 2 to 3 years of really like digging into this investment. Um, I think this is just an overall good sign of what is to come with Shout Factory and it as a company. And alongside this, also coming in June is going to be the aforementioned MeTV Toons Channel, which is set to feature classic cartoons from the history of animation from the 60s up till the early 2000s, from what I understand. But two featured titles that will be coming to the channel is going to be Speed Racer and the Marine Boy anime. Both of these titles are late 60s anime titles by Tatsunoko Productions. And I absolutely adored the work of Tatsunoko. Well, not to say the studio itself, but like the studios, the shows have sprung out from the studio, made by all the creatives that worked on it, and who genuinely did the work for it. But Speed Racer, as probably the headline title of this video, and Marine Boy, like I am curious to see that potentially maybe a fine folk like an animation historian, let's say the least, to say the least, potentially can get other classic anime titles like potentially Voltron onto this channel. Maybe even Robotech, get that relationship with Funimation. Maybe even Dragon Ball Z, Manager Sailor Moon on TV. Come on, like a late night block, like a Toonami, but like it's just free over the air access for like anyone to tune in. I've had this idea in the back of my head that I wanted to do as a project, but essentially like how would like a over the air type of like anime block hypothetically will work today's day. I'm I'm so excited and I'm so happy like that this is to come. Um, and for the fine folks at home, watching this, like be excited for this. As a lifelong Speed Racer fan, as myself, I can say that like I've been kind of doom and gloom about the animation industry and the anime industry, just in general for the past probably couple months with all the news that's gone on. But this is kind of like a shining light of like what is to come. At least to me, I think Speed Racer is a title that like kind of like tells like shifting like the shifting of the times. Like every time Speed Racer like gets picked up or is released, it means something that's going on within the industry. From its inception to its resurgence within the 90s, the lawsuits that Tatsunoko Productions won in the 2000s, they're released by Crunchyroll within its early years, and also Funimation picking up the title and releasing it. And then now I kind of gives me like this story, this whole thing with Speed Racer and with its resurgence, like gives me like hope for a new generation of anime fans that might have never had any interest in the classic, and also giving like spotlight with a title like Marine Boy. Overall, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to what is to come. This has been Allsweep, and I'll be signing out.